Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Wrestless Radio. This is a brand new podcast diving headfirst into the wacky and wonderful world of professional wrestling. I'm your host and longtime wrestling fan, Julian, constructive criticism concilio. Scott, I'm liking what you're wearing, but a hint of blue would add more to it.
Oh, thank you.
And joining me on this log flume adventure ride, and is the overall clueless perspective in this equation, he is the smoking hot smoker himself, Scott Nananovich. Scott, how is it going?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, thanks, Julian.
Yeah?
And, you know, it's only episode 3 of our podcast.
Correct.
But I am very surprised at how much I have been thinking about wrestling. Coming from a non-wrestler to so many of my thoughts now wrestling related.
Really? So you've been looking forward to watching more matches today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more matches. I don't really have access to your WWE network. Great program. But
we're not sponsored by them.
They're not sponsored.
You don't have to plug them. They're a $1 billion company. I think they get their money. It's okay.
Yeah. But I haven't really mentioned this to you, Julian, but I've felt like we've basically been like, you know how when a couple watches a show on Netflix?
Yeah.
And like one night you binge it together, you watch 3 episodes, and then your partner, this happens to me all the time, she gets too tired and she doesn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
And then you want to watch the next day, but they're not in the mood. You just can't stop thinking about it. That's what this has been like, man.
I've been a cock tease almost.
Yeah, I've just been sitting here waiting, really excited to watch the next episode. Anyway, let's get on with the podcast.
Apologies for that. But in terms of when we're recording this, we cannot catch a break with this weather. It is still hot.
Yeah.
We are recording this in the Earth's core right now. And if you ever wanted to know where Mao Zedong ended up, he's in here with us. And if you get that Joker cookie for you.
I didn't.
Well,
sorry.
He's a friend of a friend. It's okay.
Yeah.
Scott, since we recorded this last episode, there's been some big news from the 2 individuals who cut those promos.
Yeah.
From our last recording.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with a bit of a bad news on this one. Enzo Amore, you know, the certified G.
Yeah.
He is exactly him. He's actually had some rape allegations made against him by a female.
Yeah, shit.
So this is very serious news. And he was released from his contract by WWE. So that means he's been fired.
Yeah.
And he was the Cruiserweight champion at the time. And mainly the reason why he was let go was because he didn't tell them that he was being investigated by police.
Yeah.
He was being investigated since October last year.
Whoa, okay.
They found out January of 2018. You'd think you might let your publicly traded company that you work for, that you've been investigated for rape.
Yeah, but if your boss is...
Bit of an ethical thing.
If your boss is Vince McMahon...
Yeah.
Would you talk to him about anything? You would get a chance of getting fired?
I hope to think that WWE has a HR department, so
you
don't have to deal with Vince. But yeah, you know, kind of justified. He was fired. And Vince McMahon, Life Sucks and Then You Die himself, announced that he is resurrecting the XFL. He is once again starting a football league to rival the NFL.
What?
So the wrestling guy wants to become a football guy. And this is the second time he has tried to get the XFL off the ground.
Is XFL like real football, or is it similar to wrestling?
No, it's gridiron football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, what you see on NFL is what you would see on XFL.
Why is there a market for that?
Well, originally he first started this way back in 2001.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a history lesson for you on the XFL. It was a huge financial failure for Vince and the WWF at the time. It was a 50-50 joint venture with NBC.
Yeah.
It only lasted 1 season, and the TV ratings declined dramatically after the first game. The WWF lost $70 million from their joint venture only profiting 15 million.
Yeah. So why would they want to do this again now? Like, I mean, sure, it's Vince. It sounds like it's Vince McMahon's idea, but this is a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
So basically, the board of directors consists of those who have highest shares in the company. Like, why would they agree to that?
Well, this is his own investment. So this is his own.
Okay.
He is, I believe he took it $100 million out of his own shares in WWE, but he still retains ownership of the WWE. He just took out the $100 million for basically this investment that he's making. But yeah, the first go around that they made was a massive embarrassment for the company, and a lot of people kind of think it contributed to the downfall of public perception on wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, I believe it did anyway. But this second go around, I think, might actually work, because the NFL in recent years has actually had a lot of criticism against it, and I think this could be a perfect time for a competitor to come in and maybe snatch up the market a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, spice things up. So it may not have been good in 2001, but 2018, it's supposed to start in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't see a massive problem with it, I don't think.
But I mean,
I think it has a lot of potential.
But it's the same sport, right? Or is it different?
There'll be different teams and different cities that may not be involved with the NFL. I'm not a fucking expert on American football by any means. I don't know how to explain the rules of it at all.
Yeah.
I believe the main concept is that it'll be shorter games. Okay. So they won't be 3 hours long, they'll be 2 hours long. So a little bit, basically they're marketing it as a more faster paced football game.
Okay, yep.
And we will definitely cover some more of Vince's unsuccessful ventures outside of wrestling, because they are very fascinating to talk about. On to more important matters though. Welcome everyone to the Danger Zone series. I'm afraid Kenny Logan's going to be here, but what is here is some wild and reckless matches. Yes, that's right, I am walking Scott through the minefield of stipulation matches, high spots, violent encounters, and everything in between. I think this is a great way to show you how creative wrestling can be.
Yeah, well, that certainly sounds exciting.
Because when you throw the rules out the window and the wrestlers can take the fight anywhere and use anything in order to beat their opponent, it makes them for entertaining television.
Oh man, I'm just imagining like two wrestlers like fighting through the crowd.
You're gonna see that.
Oh yes. Oh man, could you imagine if you were there watching a match and like a wrestler like shoved you out of the way or shoved the person in front of you out of the way?
There's been plenty of instances of fan interaction when wrestlers are brawling in a crowd. You know, it can get a bit
This is something
heated.
that happens.
Yeah.
Often. Well, not often, but like...
Maybe not as much nowadays, but if you went to an indie show and they'd have some sort of stipulation match on, maybe like a hardcore match or something like that, and it was, you know, the brawl went out into the crowd, yeah, you'd probably get a little bit, pushed and shoved around. I have two matches for you to kick things off. Appropriately, I have chosen a Vince McMahon match.
Oh, yes.
You showed a real fascination towards Vince and the character of Mr. McMahon. And I'm showing you a point where he was at his most batshit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking insane. And it was hilarious, and I love it. We are watching Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon in a no-holds-barred match at Wrestlemania 22.
What? What is he wearing? Just a sexy boy. Oh my god. God, he fucking walks like he has the massivest dick between his legs. That's the signature walk. His smile.
That fucking cracks me up every time. There we go.
The match just starts.
Yep. This isn't going to be the biggest like athletic contest. This is just going to be a brawl.
He's gonna smash you with the side. What?
So Vince had, I don't know, invested in the services of these male cheerleaders. They were a faction at the time. They were shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's how you fucking murder someone, man. You choke them to death.
Yeah, choking doesn't really, like, do that in wrestling. That kind of logic doesn't apply.
He's pretty good at overreacting being hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Count your stock dividends now.
The commentators have babyface and heel roles as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Who is that?
Shane McMahon. His
Oh!
son. The boy wonder. He wants Michaels to join the Kiss My Ass Club, which was a gimmick at the time. His own son in his dad's ass.
Oh, Jesus.
He's got the handcuffs.
Oh, wow. It's like fucking whack-a-mole.
Oh, shit. Listen to this. Oh. Oh. They do not do that anymore. They do not do that anymore. The fucking progress we've made on, like, researching concussions.
Yeah.
Do not fucking do that anymore. Like, that was swinging for the fucking fences with a steel chair.
Yeah, that was not by any means fake.
No.
What the fuck is that ladder gonna do? Oh. If he fucking rolls off the table.
That is a big ladder.
Oh. Yeah, that would have fucking caned.
There's a Vince McMahon match.
He's gonna come back for ya.
Satan lives! And we're back. Scott, thoughts on this hellacious match?
It was very extreme.
Yeah. That's a good
Very, very extreme.
one. Yeah.
Most of the match was entertaining,
Yeah.
but there are like a couple of points where it was just like too ridiculous.
Too ridiculous? What were those points?
I think probably the one point where I started to lose a bit of immersiveness from the match was when cheerleader boys jumped in.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't blame you for that, because, like, nobody likes them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, nobody liked that gimmick at all. And what we're talking about, there was an interference during the match, where the Spirit Squad came out. That's what they're called.
Oh,
They're
wow.
these male cheerleaders. Nobody liked the gimmick. It was really awful. The guys in it were just not great workers, or not ready yet. I think that should be illustrated more. And yeah, it was just a part of the whole storyline that Vince had used these guys to kind of help him out to get revenge on Shawn Michaels at the time. But in terms of the match quality, what did you think overall? Were you entertained? Did you ever feel bored at points?
I could kind of tell that Vince McMahon isn't a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, you've told me before that they have to be very expressive when they're wrestling.
He's got character down pat.
But, like, his face, when he was slapped in the chest,
Yeah.
his face, he looked like a wife that was left at the altar. Like, he was in excruciating pain.
That's very descriptive.
Like, so, like, heartbroken and torn to pieces.
Yeah.
Like, every single infliction on him.
Yeah.
Like...
So you got that.
Yeah, he was just so overreacting to everything. I know that's a double...
Was that a detriment, or do you think that was appropriate?
I think it was a bit of a detriment.
You think? Okay.
I think he could have toned it down, like...
Yeah?
A little bit. Like, if you're thrown out of a ring, if you're hit in the head with a friggin... the poster of the magazine at the start of the match, it makes sense to have those kind of faces, but, like,
Yeah.
not the whole time.
I get what you mean.
Especially considering, like, you know, it looked like the match was over, and then the Spirit Squad come in.
Yeah.
And then 3 minutes later, he's back on his feet, ready for action.
Well, let's get into the play-by-play anyway.
Yeah.
That I've written down here. So at the beginning, before the match even started, we had a hype-up package. So these are typically done before big matches. Usually the big matches have a hype-up package. And these are basically a good way to recap the storyline events that have happened previously. If you haven't watched all the the TV tapings, weeks prior to this, you wouldn't know what the storyline is. So it's a good way to catch up on it. But the interesting about this package was actually really good because it showed both characters. I thought this was really good because it actually showed you what Vince has kind of been up to over the years, and it showed it gave you a really good illustration of his character up until that point. And like how fucking insane he got. And it also showed you on the other side of the spectrum, Shawn Michaels, who was just really resilient, really athletic. It showed you all of his wrestling ability. It really illustrated both characters very, very well. It really recapped them for you. And then after that, from a transition, it went into actually showing you why these guys are feuding. Essentially, the storyline was that relating to the Montreal Screwjob is what it's been dubbed as.
Okay.
So this was a controversy that I think we will definitely get into at a later date. He was basically envious of Shawn, that Shawn Michaels was able to move on from this particular event, and Vince was still dealing with it himself. And so he was kind of envious of Shawn that he was able to move on and able to live his life. Because Shawn, at this point, was a born-again Christian.
Okay.
That was of public knowledge that he had kind of rehabilitated himself, because at that point he was in a dark place.
Yeah.
But in 2006, when this match was set in, he was a born-again Christian and he was doing a lot better. Vince was envious of that. Because Vince was this egomaniac, this, fucking evil human being.
Boss overlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the hyper package really told that story really, really well. So first coming out was Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like his attire? Jingle bells, Shawn Michaels coming out, yeah?
It's like
a dog you put a fucking bell on.
a satanic Christmas suit.
Oh, yeah?
Just like...
A lot of holes in there, a lot of ventilation coming through that chest area.
I remember I guess his costume reminded me a little bit of, when growing up in the 90s,
Yeah.
whenever you're creating a character on a video game,
Yeah.
you always make their clothes red and black because you think it looks cool.
Yeah. Well, like, his outfit is so 90s. Like, that is a 90s outfit.
It just, like, you look back and it doesn't age well.
No, it does not age well. But Vince McBuff comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Wearing slacks. He's got a black singlet.
Yeah.
Showing off the guns.
Yeah.
He's oiled up. He's bronzed up. This hot dog man is coming out to the ring to have a fight.
Oh, man. His signature walk, though.
Oh, that's the signature walk.
It's
The Vince
like-
McMahon walk.
It's just
The strut.
so overdone.
Yeah.
Like...
Did you love his face when he's coming out?
Oh, yeah.
This evil fucking guy. Like, cannot wait to beat the shit out of this guy.
I don't know what you would be more excited about. His face.
Yeah, he was... Because he's just this, like, lunatic.
Psychopath,
He's a lunatic at this point. And, yeah, he really illustrates that. Like, the wide eyes and the big smile on his face.
Oh, he's definitely committed to that character.
He's so committed to that role.
So strong.
It's
He's like...
fantastic.
You look at his face and it's like... This is, I suppose, to his credit. He basically fucking turns a switch in his head or something.
Yeah.
Like, to be a CEO of, company wrestling, the chairman, to be able to flick that switch and go into this character. No one who was that character would be able to successfully run a business.
Understand, he is the boss. He is also producing the show.
Okay.
So he's wrestling on this show and also producing it.
Yeah.
So he's backstage on a headset, usually communicating with the commentators to, help tell the story, or communicating with the guys in the production truck, getting the camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's producing the show, and also he has to stop producing and then go into this character where he has to wrestle a match. And then probably when he finished that up, he probably dusted himself off, cleaned himself off, and probably went back to producing the rest of the night.
Wow.
He is a workaholic. He honestly is such a fascinating individual. But yes, Vince comes out. He is oiled up in his black singlet, doing the bodybuilder pose where he shows off the tris and the traps and his biceps. He walks over around the ring and he comes over to a nice velvet thing covering this easel. And he pulls that off and reveals the Muscle and Fitness magazine cover with his face on it. And he does the pose next to the magazine cover.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, he's showing off.
Do you get that he's an egomaniac now?
Yeah, but, like... The other guy.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels... fucking angry from seeing that.
Well, yeah, because it's just like...
he was so angry.
Yeah, because he can't wait to fight him, but this guy's just like being a fucking dick on the outside, posing with his magazine cover.
Yeah.
And Michaels is just like, fuck this, I'm starting now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Michaels walks out of the ring and they start going at it. They go over to the announce table.
Oh, yeah.
Michaels starts doing those chops to his chest, where you noticed how his facial expression is getting a bit over the top. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Ah! Ah! It was essentially that.
It was amusing.
Yeah.
Like...
I found it in more of an amusing way, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously not in a realistic way who would react like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fantastic. They move over to the announce table. Shawn throws him on top of it, grabs one of the headset cords, and wraps it around his neck and starts choking him.
Yeah, well, I mean...
This is where you pointed out where the choking issue, because there were a couple of times where they were choking in this match.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you wanted to kill someone, you choke them.
Yeah.
Like, but they're just like, oh, yeah, that's a move.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't apply in wrestling that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of stop before they die.
Yeah. It's just like, they can feel the pulse through the neck.
It's like, oh, I better stop. I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
So Shawn goes out to the outside and grabs the magazine cover and the frame of it. And he brings it back in the ring and smashes Vince
That
was
was-
in the head with it.
That
was
part
great.
was really good.
That was really funny.
Like, he, like...
And then Shawn mocks him with the pose. Like, oh yeah.
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 Like, they're really, like... Watching that, you were excited for him to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's, you know...
So you wanted this guy to get his comeuppance, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it fitted really well with that story of the, you know...
Yeah.
The worker versus the tyrannical boss.
Yeah. So the Spirit Squad come out and interfere. They kind of, you know, do their shtick.
Yeah.
Kind of dance around the ring, being male cheerleaders. Kenny Dykstra goes up to the top rope for a leg drop. Shawn moves out of the way though, and proceeds to dispose of the Spirit Squad pretty easily, whacking him in the head with a cone.
Yes.
Just bonking them on the head.
It was pretty entertaining.
That was kind of funny. And he chucks Kenny Dykstra out of the ring. They get disposed of pretty easily.
Oh, when he throws him out of the ring,
Oh yeah,
he like throws him
it was like
onto all the other
it was like a
guys.
circus act.
Yeah.
They do that a lot in wrestling. You'll see that come up like often, where you'll have like a bunch of guys on the outside ready to break the fall of the guy being thrown out of the ring. Yeah, that spot is done a lot in wrestling.
It was a bit like he throws out, and then if you could hear,
It's
like,
very-
if they had a mic next to those guys, you'd probably hear like, whoa.
It's very Cirque du Soleil, that spot.
Yeah. But I mean, it made sense because they needed, you know, somehow for Vince McMahon to recover.
Yeah, so Vince gets back up, comes back with a clothesline, takes Michael's head off. He takes off his belt from his pants and starts whipping the shit out of Michaels, and then starts choking him with the belt.
Well, I
We're
mean,
starting to get a bit graphic here.
the belt was actually like a really good metaphor.
Oh yeah?
Well, like, you know, how do you punish a child?
Whip them with a belt.
With a belt.
Yeah.
You know, like this boss.
Not that we have children and that we've done that.
Well, that's the analogy.
I mean, my parents used a wooden spoon.
But... Yeah. My parents had like it's like this thin plastic construction stick.
Okay.
It was like, I think you use it to get cables through a wall.
Okay, yeah.
It moves like
I
a
imagine
whip
that hurt anyway, yeah.
cane. But like in this, for the boss to be using his belt, it's like a real like punishing thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool how they used that.
That is a good kind of motif.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
But yeah, the choking thing was a bit insane.
Yeah. That was the first time you pointed that one out. Michaels fights back though, with some chops again, and grabs the belt and starts whipping McMahon with it.
Yep.
You know, bit of comeuppance there. But Shane McMahon makes an appearance.
Oh god.
The boss's son. He comes, the boy wonder, as he's been dubbed. The boy with a silver spoon in his mouth. From Greenwich, Connecticut.
Oh
God.
god.
One of the commentators made the comment that Shane had a chauffeur-driven bicycle when he was a kid.
Wow.
Oh, that was great. So Shane takes advantage over Michaels, grabs him. Vince motions to start taking off his pants.
Oh yeah.
So this was a gimmick at the time, or a storyline. He doesn't do this anymore, but this was the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
Yeah.
So where he would get various employees to get down on their knees and literally kiss his ass.
Yeah.
They showed some clips of it in the hype-up package at the beginning. And one of the commentators, actually, I should mention, was forced to do that to keep his job. Yeah. So that's why Jim Ross, the play-by-play commentator, he had a bias against McMahon.
Yeah.
Calling him a son of a bitch.
Hated him.
You're calling him a son of a bitch, like saying he was satanic and like this fucking evil human being. Complete bias towards him, and like rightfully so, obviously. So Shane tries to get Michaels to kiss Vince's ass.
Yeah.
But Michaels fights Shane off, and unbeknownst to Vince, Shane's head gets shoved into Vince's ass. The crowd goes fucking nuts. Vince is like, yeah! He's got his back turned, so we can't see what's going on. Vince is like, yeah!
His face was just like...
So gleeful.
Yeah, like... I mean... in a different context, you might like that. But in a wrestling ring,
Yeah.
like...
It's the ego thing again. He's going back to the ego.
He's losing it.
Yeah, he's just nuts. So Shane kisses his daddy's ass.
Yep.
Hell of a fucking props to Shane for doing that. Shane had brought out handcuffs, but Michaels grabs those handcuffs and attaches them to Shane McMahon to the top ring, to the middle ring rope. And proceeds to cane the shit out of Shane. He starts mocking him.
Pretty funny.
You know the dance that Michaels was doing at that point, where he was kind of dancing around? That's what Shane does, usually.
Oh.
He'll kind of do that dance, so Michaels was mocking him.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the cane and then just started whipping the shit out of him.
Yeah. He's like just running along the rope.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going anywhere.
He can't get away. He just basically... And from that point, Shane has to watch Shawn basically dismantle his father. So Shawn grabs a chair from under the ring, brings that into the ring, and violently swings his fucking heart out into McMahon's head. The loudest clatter I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
Jesus, like, there's compilations on YouTube you can watch of people taking chair shots to the head.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. They cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean...
concussions, like, you can't recover from concussions. They're permanent. The thing with brain injuries, it's, you know, they're permanent. You can't... It's not like a broken bone or torn muscles or torn ligaments and stuff. Those can heal. Brain cells don't heal. You lose them. Once they're gone, they don't come back. So there's been a lot of research over the years with concussions, and actually a couple of years after this, the WWE actually did ban chair shots to the head. So if wrestlers do it, they actually get a pretty hefty fine if they do it. So it's very much like, no, do not do it, because we've seen the horrible outcomes and, you know, careers cut short because of concussions.
Yeah.
It's a very big problem in wrestling right now, concussions, actually.
Yeah.
And not just because of the chair shots to the head. A lot of wrestling moves revolve around, you know, using the head and drilling the head into the mat, or certain other moves that, you know, involve the skull. It's a very, very scary thing. So Shawn gets more weapons. He gets that trash can and a table and a ladder, brings them into the ring. He smashes the trash can on Vince's head. Another loud clatter. He
rams him with a ladder in the face.
Yes, he rams.
Like a pole vault.
He pole vaults that ladder into Vince's head.
Straight on the ground. You know, blood is pouring out of his head all over the ring.
The interesting thing about this match is that you actually get to see a lot of the cliche wrestling weapons. So the chair, the trash can, the kendo stick is what it's called. Or a Singapore cane. The table. Yeah, so you get to see all these cliche kind of weapons. Whenever we watch these stipulation matches, you'll often see those kind of weapons being brought in. Okay. And a lot of creative things ensue when these weapons are brought in. So at this point, Vince is busted wide open. He's fucking bleeding profusely from his skull. It's pouring out of his head. Is the blood real, I want to ask you?
I think so.
You think the blood is real?
Well, I mean, he's not wearing a toupee.
No. That's his real hair.
Blood packs underneath it.
Yeah.
I mean...
How do you think they make themselves bleed?
Ooh. Maybe they're like fucking really hydrated.
Oh yeah?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
so
I mean, if it is fake, I would have no idea.
Yeah.
How they would do that.
The practice is called blading. Have you ever heard of blading before?
No.
So when they want to sell a particular move that's been done to the skull or a particular body part, they'll have a small razor blade and they will cut their forehead. Most of the time it's the forehead. Yeah. To actually make themselves bleed a little bit. If you ever look closely at some wrestlers, you'll often see some scars on their forehead. Those are from blading.
Whoa.
Yeah. So wrestlers will cut themselves, just a little incision, just to get enough blood and to get that, you know, that violent effect that you would want in a match like this, because this is a no holds barred match. So this is essentially a violent match. So in order to build up drama of the match, blood kind of adds to that.
So what you're telling me is that Vince was cutting his head
Yes.
through this match.
Well, he did it at one point. So usually they'll only have to do it once. They won't do it multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually it's just like a small cut on the forehead, just to bleed a little bit. There's been times when it's been done to the excess. I think at this match it was okay. It wasn't too bad. They don't do blading too much anymore. In WWE at least they don't do it at all. If they do it, they'll use blood capsules. So blood capsules almost look exactly like blood, but not really. It doesn't have the same kind of thickness, and you can sort of tell it's not real.
Yeah, I remember as a kid once in a show bag, I got these little capsules.
Yeah.
And you chewed on them, and then it made your teeth look like all blood was spurting from your mouth.
Yeah.
So I would get that, but from your head,
Yeah.
cut themselves. Wow.
Yeah.
A boss doing that, that's dedication to the craft.
Yeah, Vince would go that extra mile
Yeah.
to put like this whole match is just a showcase for him essentially in terms of like what he's willing to do as a boss.
to you know, because this stuff, you know, predetermined. I
Yeah.
assume most of it, probably by Vince.
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna, you know, set up this way. You're gonna ram me in the head with a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I guarantee you Vince would have been like, oh, what if we do this? Or what if we do this? Like,
Yeah.
what if you do this to me? Like, because that's how he thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's other wrestlers that think like that. Well, I'd say a lot of wrestlers think like that. They want to put on a fucking show. And that, you know, that's admirable. Very admirable. So Shawn puts Vince on the table and proceeds to climb the ladder, but says no. Decides not to do it. So, he's not going to put him away. What's he going to do? So he throws that ladder out of the ring. He goes back to the outside and goes under the ring and pulls out a 20-foot ladder, I would say.
Yeah.
And the camera cuts straight to Shane's face and him looking up at the ladder slowly, and his eyes just widen. Like, oh my god. It's perfect direction there. Shawn brings the ladder into the ring. He sets it up. He puts the trash can over Vince.
Oh, yeah.
Basically covering half his body. He places Vince onto the table. Shawn climbs this 20-foot ladder. Does the DX motion, which is a thing we should get into later on. But he jumps off, does his patented elbow drop through Vince, through the table.
Through the trash can. Hell
of a fucking spot that was.
Oh, yeah.
What a, like, they talk a lot about Wrestlemania moments. And, like, that's a fucking moment right there.
Yeah.
Like, and seeing all the camera flashes going off. Like, that visual of him dropping the elbow off the top.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. It was an unbelievable spot. Vince looks like a mess. The doctors came out, actually, to check on him. That was pre-planned, that was. But Shawn kicks them away and says, you know, to fuck off. Shawn picks up Vince and gets right in his face, and I've written this quote down. He says, "I want you to watch this when I knock your teeth down your throat."
Yeah.
And then proceeds to really rev himself up. The audience is getting really into it. He's building that to a fever pitch. And then walks over to Vince, delivers a sweet chin music, which is his finishing move.
Yeah.
Kicks his teeth down his throat. Covers him, 1, 2, 3. Shawn wins.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. And one of probably his best match I think he's ever had.
Yeah.
I would say, anyway.
Well, what I loved is straight after, like, Vince is out cold.
Yeah.
They're, you know, he's put straight onto the hospital, like, back, to keep your back straight.
Yeah.
As he's being carried out. He's just got his hand up, and he's just giving a fuck you
Yeah.
middle finger as is being carried out.
The defiant middle finger to the camera. Oh, it's brilliant.
It's just like,
And the
you know he's coming back.
And so apropos, the commentators say, Satan lives. And that was Shawn versus Vince. What did you think of the match overall, quality-wise?
Yeah, well, like I said before, it was a bit extreme. Way more extreme than probably what I was ready for.
Yeah.
But it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Overall. The start, if we ignore the Spirit Squad,
Yeah.
it was pretty entertaining. It's so extreme, though.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a bit...
Was it too violent? Was it too much to handle, or do you think you could probably go more? Because there's violent that we could get into.
It was pretty top of my threshold.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The last match, our first match we watched,
was
like
a competitive classic, you know.
That was very tame.
Yeah.
That was extreme.
That was extreme?
Like,
yeah.
So much violence.
I mean,
straight into it.
I think you'll kind of get used to it. I hope. Otherwise, we're going to have a tough time this Danger Zone series. If this is your threshold. But there's a lot more violent matches that we could get into. I'm not going to show you, like, the really gory stuff, because I can't handle that stuff either. Yeah. I'll mainly be showing you the WWE kind of stuff, because that seems to be the more kind of down-to-earth violence that most people can handle.
Yeah.
There's other companies that exist called CZW that really fucking... I can't handle that shit. Like, it's way too fucking graphic. And it's so violent. And, yeah, it's almost like torture porn, almost.
Whoa.
Yeah, I could show you clips of it, but I don't want to watch it either. But it exists. That kind of style is out there of wrestling. It's kind of the seedy underbelly of wrestling.
Yeah, okay.
And look, each to their own. If you're into it, that's fine. But it's just fucking too much for me.
Yeah.
I can't handle that shit. So the next match we are watching is from Invasion 2001. Jeff Hardy versus my favorite wrestler of all time. So this is a little bit personal to me. Mm-hmm. Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match for the Hardcore Championship.
Okay.
So this means there are no rules, but pinfalls and submissions count anywhere. So that means they can go anywhere they want, and the match can end anywhere. So no limits here.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It's the charismatic Enigma versus the whole fucking show. You like his outfit?
Tiger Man!
Look at that airbrush.
It's skull with a yin yang on his chest.
Oh yeah, you just all about the yin yang, this guy.
Yeah.
Look those graphics.
What? That was silly.
Known for his egotism, Van Dam.
Just jumps over him. Whoa!
Van Dam is extremely flexible. It's called Rolling Thunder.
Whoa! That looked painful.
In the audience, this is what you've been wanting.
Yep.
They do a little bit in the audience in this match.
That little boy was freaking the fuck out.
I thought he was going to lose his balance off that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
See that fat guy? Let's get into it.
It's like a fucking porn stash.
I know. Oof.
Oh. Oh.
Ow.
Oh.
Ow.
That is the correct reaction for that.
Take your fucking wind out of you. Ah.
The ladder.
The ladder.
Oh.
How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder?
Oh.
Steel chair.
Oh. Oh man. That was fucking dirty though.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You
he's
like
like,
that,
he's like, please, no, please.
Fucking kicks it. Look at this.
Oh man.
He calls that the Van Daminator.
That move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's like, don't fucking take my chair.
It's what fucking chair.
Oh. Whoa.
Jeff's going for his finisher.
Oh. He's like, fucking give me that.
That was a very, very fast-paced match. Like, they crammed a lot in there. In about, I'd say, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Crammed a lot in there. And we're back. Scott, what are your thoughts on that human highlight reel that we just watched?
Well, that match was probably a lot more entertaining for me than that last match we watched. Yeah. All the high-flying moves and, you know, not so intense, crazy on the violence.
Yeah, there was less character in this, more just straight action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I probably had the wrong response. I found it pretty funny a lot of the time.
The whole thing?
Not the whole thing,
Yeah.
but like, they're doing like backflips, kicking him in the face, front flip, kicking him in the face.
Yeah.
I think my favourite move in that match is what you called a rolling thunder.
Yeah.
Like, he's on the bar, does a forward roll, and then, no, he flips himself off the rope at the side, does a forward roll, and then slams his legs into the guy's chest, right?
No, that was... So what he does is he'll run to the ropes, do a forward roll, then do basically a somersault in midair, and then land his back on his opponent.
So it's like a double...
Yeah, he'll do an unnecessary roll before doing the somersault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of fits his character because he's a very showy kind of person. You got that impression from him during the match, definitely. So this was a particular personal match for me because it was actually my favorite wrestler that I grew up watching, Rob Van Dam. And what do you think of Rob Van Dam?
I don't know. He was very big, and
Very big?
like that mass should not be able to move like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a small dude. Like,
No, he's like 230 pounds, 240 pounds.
yeah,
Pure muscle. Yeah.
he just flies.
He is considered a average sized wrestler.
Yeah,
Definitely average sized. Probably less than average if you want to really,
Yeah.
nitpick on it. But yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jeff Hardy? Were you sympathetic towards him because he was the babyface in this scenario?
I don't know. I didn't really like him this match.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to kind of get from it in terms of his character. He was just kind of there, I would say. And that is a lot of, Jeff is often the because there's the Hardy Boys, so his brother Matt and Jeff, which we'll be looking at definitely, because they've had some fucking chaotic matches.
I think I've had exposure to this guy before.
Jeff Hardy, really?
Yeah, I recognized him.
You recognize the name? Or him as, like...
And his hair?
Yeah, the colourful
like,
hair.
His jeans that he wears in the
match.
match.
Baggy jeans, fucking early 2000s fashion.
I mean, baggy jeans are probably not the best thing to go into a wrestling match wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, you want flexibility and stuff.
But you know what? He looks like everybody else that's in the crowd. So, if you want relatability, look like the fans that are in the audience.
Apart from, like, the blue hair.
Yeah. I mean, he was kind of like a goth kid. If he was in the goth...
Just wait a second. You say he looks like the people in the crowd.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that one in a minute.
Does he, though?
So, Rob Van Dam comes out in his tiger outfit.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah.
He has he is notorious for having very interesting outfits. So he gets a lot of airbrush outfits done, those singlets that he wears.
Oh, okay.
So he has a lot of different artworks that he does on those, which is very unique, very interesting.
So he has different costumes every match.
Yeah. A lot of wrestlers will have different outfits in matches. Either obviously he does particular airbrush stuff, so he will get someone to do that for him.
Yeah.
But wrestling tights can be, or whatever you wear in a wrestling match can be literally anything.
Yeah.
You can wear whatever the fuck you want when you wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it suits your character, there's no limits to what you can wear.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Tiger Man comes out, and so does the goth kid, Jeff Hardy, with his colourful hair and his...
Yeah, I found this match pretty interesting, how, like, they straight up went into it.
Yeah, straight away got into it.
Like, no,
They don't really do that anymore. This is a very older style match in terms of getting straight into it. Straight away, bell rings, ready to go. Like the other match that like Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels, that match, the bell rang and they're outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen nowadays. Nowadays, you the referee, they'll make it seem more like a real contest.
Yeah.
So they'll always start, all right, you ready? All right, ring the bell. It'll start in the ring.
It doesn't start when one of them charges.
Yeah, it's a lot more unrealistic back then, but I actually kind of like it, to be honest.
Well,
it makes it a lot more fast paced and like there's a sense of urgency.
Well, this is a no rules match.
Yeah, so this was a hardcore match.
I think it makes sense. In that context. In
that context, it makes sense.
If it was a match with rules,
like a regular, like when we saw Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. If that match kicked off and like Dunne was still just walking down the aisle, and the bell rang, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
it would be really out of place in like modern times, but back then it was kind of commonplace actually.
Yeah, okay.
So Jeff Hardy runs down to the ring because he's pissed off that Van Dam hit his brother with the steel chair. We see a recap from that moments ago. That happened. Jeff runs between Van Dam's legs, and they go right at it. They go into a bit of a sequence where they're flipping all over the place. And kind of a chain wrestling sequence, which is kind of...
I think that was part of my amusement.
Yeah.
How it was like... They're almost dancing.
They're so evenly matched, they can't get an advantage over each other. That's the story it's kind of telling at that point.
Yeah.
These two high flyers, essentially, is what they would be dubbed.
Yeah.
Van Dam goes for a Rolling Thunder early on, which is the move you love.
Yeah.
That's one of your signature moves, the Rolling Thunder. Van Dam goes to the top rope, but Jeff pushes him off it. He fucking flies off and hits his head on the barricade on the outside. That was a sick bump. Jeff scales the barricade to basically hit Van Dam, but Van Dam jumps on the barricade as well and meets him on it and hits him off. Jeff lands into the crowd, and now some crowd brawling ensues. Van Dam jumps onto the barricade and hits a moonsault, pushes the kid out the way as he's doing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that kid. I mean, you couldn't see his face. Maybe you could.
Yeah.
But he was terrified.
Yeah, because he thought he was going to... He almost lost his balance a little bit, Van Dam. When he jumped onto it, he almost fell forward a little bit, but lucky he was able to... He's got unbelievable balance, but yeah, that one was a bit risky there.
Yeah.
He almost fell at a kid. But yeah, he does the moonsault, goes for a pinfall, because pinfalls count anywhere. You can do them wherever you want. Mm-hmm. So they're out in the concrete in the crowd at this point.
Is that the definition of a hardcore match?
A hardcore match is basically falls count anywhere. You can go wherever you want.
Okay.
And so
yeah.
there's been matches where they go into the crowd or they'll go backstage. There's been one match where they go out onto the street.
What?
Yeah. They'll go out into the street. They've had one setup where they've had a match go out into like a bar across the road to like really sell the falls count anywhere aspect, and they're fighting. Yeah. They're doing a bar fight at this point. It's so like the hardcore championship was basically a way for lower card wrestlers to really kind of get this entertainment aspect out to it. So
yeah,
this match type where anything goes, and it was a lot of creativity, ensued with that. So it was the hardcore championship is a championship we will look at definitely. Yeah, and I say that about a lot of things because we've got a lot to cover.
Would you buy a ticket to a hardcore match if they're just gonna fight across the streets?
Oh well, that wouldn't be the main selling point on a card, definitely not. But yeah, for the audience, like in attendance, you'd just be watching that on the screen.
Yeah,
yeah. What can you do?
It's pretty funny though.
Van Dam places Jeff on the barricade and puts him stomach first on it. Van Dam gets up on the apron of the ring and basically does his Rob Van Dam pose. Did you see him doing that?
Yeah.
It's ways to get over with the fans.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
It builds fan interaction. It gets the fans involved. Yeah, I think it's a great thing. And if you're able to find something to set yourself apart from everyone else. Mm-hmm. So Van Dam does a spinning heel kick onto Jeff's back. That looked brutal. Goes for a pinfall. Jeff kicks out. Van Dam is up on the apron, but Jeff does a sunset flip. So he basically flips over Van Dam, who was bent over on the apron. Jeff lands on his feet on the outside, pulls Van Dam down onto the floor, fucking powerbomb on the floor, and you just hear the fucking clatter.
Yeah.
And you just see the facial expression of Van Dam.
Oh, yeah.
Like the breath has been taken out of his body. His soul has left his body at this point. And he's just screaming in agony.
Yeah. Oh, that was intense. That was a good moment of this match. For sure.
I thought that was one of the better spots in the match. So Jeff grabs a 20-foot ladder.
Oh, yeah.
The 20-foot ladder returns once again. Jeff climbs it to... I don't know what he was planning on doing there because Van Dam was kind of in a weird position. But Van Dam manages to evade, rolls into the ring, and pushes Jeff off the ladder, off this 20-foot ladder, and lands onto the rampway.
Yeah.
Hell of a spot that was.
What did the commentators say? They're like...
How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder?
Yeah.
That is actually one of the most famous... Jim Ross lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder? I don't know, Jim. How do you learn?
It's a very strange rhetorical question.
He's such a poetic man, Jim. So Van Dam gets a steel chair, but Jeff pushes the ladder into his face, so he gets the advantage now. Jeff follows Van Dam up the ramp and goes to hit him with a steel chair as Van Dam's on his knees begging him off.
Oh, yeah.
This was actually spot of the match, I would say. A really cool moment. Van Dam's on his knees saying, please no, with his hands like this, begging him off. Jeff goes to swing the chair and Van Dam jumps up, kicks him in, kicks the chair into his face. Jeff goes flying off the stage into this concrete pit. And the crowd goes fucking nuts. They blow up as soon as that happens.
He flew like at least 3 meters, I'd say.
Yeah. It was a hell of a bump to take.
Like from one kick.
And onto concrete.
Yeah.
The steel chair just connected with his head. It was unbelievable.
I guess I understand why this guy is your favourite wrestler, Julesy.
Why is that?
Well, because he just,
so damn cool.
Whacks people with the chair.
Yeah.
He just fucking roly-polies everywhere. He's just like the craziest wrestler.
Action makes its way down to the ring where Van Dam skateboards the chair into Jeff's face, into the corner. You remember that one? Yeah. So Van Dam goes for the split-legged moonsault, but Jeff gets his knees up and then DDTs the shit out of Van Dam. He basically springs off his fucking neck. It looked fucking nasty. Jeff goes for a cover, but Van Dam kicks out. Jeff climbs up to the top rope for his finisher, the Swanton Bomb, which is basically him just flipping onto his back onto his opponent. Van Dam rolls out of the way, though, and puts the Hardcore Championship onto Jeff. Jumps up to the top rope like a cat and delivers a 5-star frog splash and literally bounces off Jeff's body when he hits him. And he wins the Hardcore Championship. And that was a fucking human highlight reel of a match. A complete spot fest. They crammed a lot into that, 10, 12 minutes that was? Really crammed a lot in there.
So much went on.
Yeah, that was a really fast-paced, non-stop match. And one of my favourites of Van Dam's and Jeff's. Those two really have like a lot of really good chemistry in the ring. But overall, match, what did you think?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty subdued reaction.
It was funny.
Not bad.
Yeah. I think one of my the funniest parts for me during that match. You interrupted me before when I wanted to talk about it.
Sorry.
And then when we got to that part in the play-by-play...
I completely skipped over
it. You completely skipped over it.
Alright, we'll talk about it now.
The audience members.
Oh, yeah.
Around these guys that were fighting.
So when Jeff was on the barricade, there was this one particular guy.
Oh, yeah. He was like...
big fat guy.
Stereotypical Southern American. Big chubby guy.
I actually don't know where this pay-per-view took place. So I wonder if it was in... the South.
This big chubby guy with a porn stash.
Yeah.
And he's like motioning like smash his head in, smash his head. Oh man. It was ridiculous. And then there were these other two fat guys as well. One of them was in a bright orange shirt.
I don't think I saw this one. What was this one?
They were so when he first throws him into the crowd, the guys on the right they were like wearing an orange. There was two more like pretty fat guys. Not that I hate fat guys, but like it was just very amusing to see them. And they're going mental getting into it. You said that Jeff Hardy looks like the audience. He definitely does not look like the audience.
Hey, 1%. I mean, if there were any goth kids in that crowd, maybe. And that was first episode of the Danger Zone series. Scott, are you feeling in danger?
Oh, man. I don't know, man. I mean, that first match, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
These matches, I think we're getting... The second match we watched, the really violent one, was more true to the name of Wrestless Radio.
How so?
I'm like, if this is the tip of the iceberg, that's like, oh, this is not too bad. You can watch this match as your second match. How deep does it go?
How far?
I'm nervous.
How far down the rabbit hole can we go?
Like, because I know you've been telling me that you've wanted to go bit by bit by bit.
Yeah.
So I don't get freaked out.
I am like holding your hand very cautiously.
Like this is the next step.
We're in Target at the moment.
This is the baby step.
I'm holding your hand because I just have a feeling there's a pedophile around and I don't want him to get you. But I'm definitely holding your hand through this because I don't want to scare you off just yet. Can we just ease it up a bit? But next episode for at least the Danger Zone series, which I don't know when that will be because I think this series can be just like whenever we feel like it, we can release this.
Yeah,
especially because if we're in between different series that we're doing, because I think we'll do different themes for episodes. And I think the Danger Zone series could be a nice, fun little break from something. Hey, let's watch a couple fun matches, and we can have a good time and have a good laugh. But I am definitely, doing this very cautiously at the same time. Don't get me wrong. There was one match I was actually considering showing you instead of that Rob Van Dam Jeff Hardy match. I decided not to though because I thought it would be a bit too violent.
Maybe hold off on that one for a little bit.
Wait a few weeks before we do that.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for the Danger Zone series and Wrestless Radio episode 3. Just to let you know, this audio podcast is available on multiple platforms like YouTube on our channel. There will be a link in the description to that. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Wrestless Radio. We have our previous episodes available there.
You can also find us on our SoundCloud account at soundcloud.com/restlessradio. You'll also find us being a little bit active, doing a bit of tweeting about on our Twitter account at Wrestless Radio. So do consider following us. We'll be staying active on there. And look, at the moment, we're really looking for a lot of constructive or non-constructive criticism, being a new podcast.
Send your abuse through Twitter at Wrestless Radio. I will be sure to take it under consideration.
Yes.
But if you do have any suggestions for future episodes or ideas for things that we could do in the future, please do hit us up on Twitter because we would love to see your feedback. Thanks once again for listening to Wrestless Radio episode 3. I've been Julian.
And I'm Scott.
And we'll see you next time on episode 4.